Reflective teaching practices need to be very critical if they're going to be effective. And what we want to do is look at different aspects of criticality in terms of reflective practice. One critical aspect of reflection, of reflective practice, that we need to be aware of is that reflection does not happen in isolation. It happens within an external framework, within an environment. And therefore, being critical about reflective practice means that we need to understand the environment and how those external constraints can affect the reflective practitioner and affect the outcomes of reflective practice. It's important for us always, as teachers, to be aware of the fact that reflection happens within a social setting, within a context, and doesn't happen in isolation, inside a person's head, inside the teacher's head. It's always within a school environment or an educational setting. And we can look at this from the perspective of a model. Criticality for the reflective practitioner includes a number of key levels that we can think about in terms of reflection. At the core of reflection is knowing in action, knowing that what we're doing is correct, knowing that we have the skills to apply to teaching and learning. And radiating from this, reflection is in action and on action. So from knowing in action, acquired knowledge, we are reflecting both immediately experiences in the classroom and after experiences in action and on action. From this criticality will help us begin to look at reflection for action and reflection with action. Reflection for action is where reflection is guiding changes to teaching that occur in the classroom. And reflection with action is very much about how the process of reflection and the practical aspects of teaching combine, synthesize into a professional approach to the roles that we're taking. They come together and define the process of teaching. And what criticality is telling us is that all of these types of reflection occur within a context, within a social setting. And in order for reflective practice to be effective, we need to reflect on the social context, on that social setting, to provide a background to reflection on our experiences. So the teacher plays, in terms of reflection, is always within that social setting, within schools, within departments, within communities. And therefore, there needs to be a level of criticality that the reflective practitioner engages with in order to be effective. There will be, for example, certain rules that we need to be aware of and we need to follow. And these could be written, they could be unwritten, they could be expectations. And therefore, these can either support or they can constrain the reflective process. And it's because teachers aren't working in isolation, aren't working separately, that all the experiences that we have come together and create the reflective practice environment. And it's this understanding which is critical about reflective practice. It's the colleagues that we work with, it's the biases that we have, the expectations and the biases that our colleagues have, which are all unique to us as individuals and which come together in the environment, which create the reflective practice environment. These actually become constraints or also they can become empowerers to the process of reflection. And what therefore that the reflective practitioner needs to do is to understand these contexts very thoroughly in order to ensure that there is the correct level of criticality in terms of reflection.